Welcome to Revolutionary Motion, where we show you tennis from a different perspective. Today we will explain to you guys the secrets to learning how to anticipate on the tennis court like a tennis pro would. Now, obviously, if you're watching this video, you're struggling with your anticipation. And most people that struggle with their anticipation, believe it or not, are actually pretty fast players. They're players that move pretty quickly on the court. Now, why would they struggle with their anticipation? Because they rely on their legs to get to the ball. Now, somebody who's very slow on the tennis court and wants to reach a high level usually anticipates a lot better. And the reason for that is that they need to figure out how to get to the ball, but they know that there is no way for them to just move the legs faster to get to the ball. So instead, they have to learn how to anticipate. This all starts with just guessing, obviously. You kind of try to read patterns and see where the ball is going to come when you hit a certain shot yourself. But then over time, you get used to it. Now, how do you learn it yourself? How do you figure out how to anticipate better if you're one of the better movers out there? It's very simple. You start moving less. Now, we're not talking about recovering more slowly, but we're talking about trying to get to the ball, to the optimal position, as slowly as you possibly can. That will force you to now start moving earlier, or else you won't be able to get in position. So if you learn to move as slowly as possible to every single ball, almost walking, and you can set up perfectly nevertheless, that's when you will figure out how to anticipate better. You will start watching your opponent's racket a bit more carefully. You will start watching how fast they swing, how their body is turned, seeing little patterns that teach you where the ball is going to go when the opponent sets up this way. And aside from that, obviously also the positioning of your opponent on the court, as well as their specific patterns that other people might not use, but they might have this specific quirk to them that, tells you the ball is going to go over there. Now, if you learn to move less, obviously that seems like it's a bit of an obstacle to overcome when you're actually playing matches. But the good news is, if you can move well, you can always move well. You can turn that back on as long as your anticipation has improved. So you want to practice moving less and less, moving slowly, but keep in mind, you always want to move fast enough so you can still get into the optimal position and set up perfectly for your shots. So it's really important that you move enough, but not more than required. Don't take extra steps. Don't try to adjust even better by taking a lot of steps. You want to make sure that you don't rely on your legs to get to the ball, but instead rely on your eyes to anticipate, as well as to judge, and assess what's going to happen on the tennis court, so you can move earlier, have a shorter reaction time, and in the process, learn how to anticipate like a professional tennis player would. Quick little side story, here's how I learned to anticipate. So I played like everybody else, trying to move better and better. I was never very talented for movement, but I tried nevertheless. And then one day I tore my ligaments in my ankle, so I couldn't move very well anymore. Now, most people would just not play for a while, maybe take 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks off the court. I didn't like that idea, despite the fact that I knew I couldn't move very well. And I didn't want to take any risks on the tennis court either. I wanted to keep hitting, but I wasn't going to risk, moving very fast despite the pain, because I didn't want to re-injure myself or make that injury worse. So now I was moving way slower than usual, but I was playing with the same types of opponents. Obviously not matches, but practices. So now I had no options left other than moving earlier, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get to a single shot they were hitting. That's how I was forced to now, because of my lack of movement or lack of mobility, to actually see earlier where the ball is going to go, guess in the beginning like I talked about, and figure out how to anticipate so I can actually, measure up to the same opponents as I usually would with better footwork.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.